Now for more on the story, we welcome to studio Professor Ehud Davidson, the CEO of Clalit Health Services. Professor, thank you so much for being here in the studio. And just for clarity, we do have a translator, so if there is a slight delay, you will understand why it might just take a second or two. I wanted to ask you, Professor, Benjamin Netanyahu and the Health Minister and the Director General saying just moments ago from Jerusalem that a final decision on what might happen with people who are landing in the country is probably going to be made tomorrow. But what we know up until now is that thousands of people have landed in the country and been told to go into self-quarantine. From a health point of view, how are authorities coping with dealing with an operation of this scale?
I believe that the steps that are being taken in Israel are excellent, they are correct, they are very, very professional. We and the Clalit Health Services are also part of the decision-making process and day-to-day discussions. Perhaps the best proof of the fact that the policies are appropriate is that we are in control of the disease. Unlike many other countries, we have 25 cases. We know exactly who they got it from. That means we're in control. Losing control means there are people who were infected here and we don't know from whom. That's a different phase in control. But as of now, we are fully backing up the policy and strategy of the Ministry of Health, and it's proven itself, and that's the most important thing.
So what are the symptoms that people should be looking out for right now? We know there are 25 cases in the country. We also know the Health Minister Yaakov Litzman referred to other possible cases, confirmation coming in the next few hours, possibly tomorrow. But if people were watching right now, what are the symptoms they should be looking out for, and what should they do then? Because it's not the right advice to go straight to hospital, because that could cause more of a problem, couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, you're completely right. The main signs are those of coughing, sore throat. Those are the signs of a slight infection in the respiratory system, a runny nose, very, very light symptoms at first. And it's true that the instruction of the Health Ministry right now to the public in Israel, in any case where there is a fear or concern, certainly if you've come into contact with a tourist who came from abroad, call MADA, the Magen David Adom. Don't go to the clinic, don't go to hospital, call Magen David Adom. They have a hotline. If needed, they can pass the call on to a doctor who will determine whether you are a suspect and whether you need to undergo the test to know whether you've been infected or not infected by the virus. By the way, at Clalit, having seen that the call center collapsed, we put our services to them, and part of the calls from members of from all Israeli citizens, not members of our health system, are sent to us, because at the end of the day, this is a national effort and we are a responsible organization that wants to be part of this exceptional, there's never been anything like it, this exceptional effort. We're putting our abilities, our means at the disposal of the public's health, and at the end of the day, to save lives.
Now, to that exact point, talk to us about people who might be watching who are feeling absolutely fine. We heard the Prime Minister say, don't shake hands, rather use your elbow. There are other fun ways even to greet somebody. What kind of precautions can people take? They're feeling well, but they just don't obviously want to either catch the virus or potentially spread it.
First of all, people going about their normal daily lives, going to work, children are going to schools. We haven't prohibited shows, other performances. The prohibition is on gatherings of more than 500 people, so mostly sport. But of course there's a clear concern in the public. I advise people to act as normal, don't panic. At the end of the day, I think the Health Ministry knows exactly what it's doing, is managing this correctly, is professionally advising everyone, and is alert to what is happening in other countries. We're stopping the arrival of tourists from countries where there's an impression that they've lost control in order to delay in as much as is possible the arrival of the virus. At the same time, we must say that we're also preparing for the worst if it comes. So we at Clalit are dealing mostly with the fact that we are preparing our teams for the epidemic if it arrives at our hospitals. We're preparing special professional departments in order to be able to deal with the epidemic if it happens. Our clinics know how to deal with this. They have protective gear. So if someone arrives, we said, call Magen David Adom, they'll go home, don't go to the hospital. But if people still arrive at hospital, then these teams have personal protective gear so that they can continue giving personal care. And we've activated our online systems, and that's exactly what needs to be done now.
Thank you so much. Professor Ehud Davidson, CEO of Clalit Health Services. Toda Rabah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.